Good morning, folks. What do you do with land to create revenue? So, of course, you have the beautiful fescue for stockpiled forage and cattle. But what if you're semi-old like me and you'd like for it to generate some revenue? So, hunting leases. I currently use base camp leasing, have for probably 30 years when I used it to supplement my dairy farming habit. And so this is a 20-acre parcel, a little over 22, 23 acres. So this is County Line Road. And so you're gonna pull right in here to these red gates, and then you're gonna open up these electric gates right over there. Yeah, just right here. You see the charger? And you're gonna get shocked, and you're gonna go right in that wood, and I'm gonna take a picture or two here. But it's about probably 10 acres of woods, and there's a live spring down there. I call it the honey hole. My guy that's got my big place leased saw a huge 8-10 point buck. You know, he was 23, 24 inch and wide and good heavy deer, made it through last year's season. So I'm gonna jump the side-by-side over here and pick it up, walk in the woods, show you the spring. So this is the 20-acre parcel of the 70 some acres total, and we'll go over to the 52 here pretty quick. So hold on tight, gonna make some money. They'll send you a check. Okay, so I was wrapped up in the dairy farmer world and did not train my children up to hunt. And I loved to hunt when I was young, but now that I'm older, I just don't enjoy it. When I was dairy farming and had a feed bill and a young family, and we were struggling, you know, every time I got up into a deer stand, I would think to myself, man, I need to be checking these calves, or, you know, I need to be working, because at that point in my life, I thought work meant productivity, and productivity used to mean revenue. You know, in the 70s and 80s, to a certain extent, you could work your way out of a crisis. And nowadays, I don't think you can necessarily work your way out of a crisis. But the timber has been cut, not slaughtered. That's probably about 20 years ago the timber was cut. But there's a little deep ravine in there with a spring, and there's an older deer blind right here. A lot of deer. This is, like I said, this is my honey hole. When I was younger and we had just bought this farm, I could come over here and kill a deer and say that I killed a deer, because that was important back in the day. So there's a nice little hunting blind. So I'm going to drive around, keep on going. Several white oaks in there. The deer love the white oaks. If I was bow hunting, I would put a stand right down here. Kind of surprised we haven't seen a deer as of yet. I'd hang a stand in that post oak right there and put a little salt out here, maybe some of the yellow yelper, but got to be careful on the regulations on that. But I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to walk you down to the spring. While I'm walking, and I'm a talker, base camp leasing. I believe they're out of Indiana. Ed Griffin, don't shoot me, Ed, is my agent for base camp. Why I like base camp. They have insurance, which is, you know, I went to a hunting seminar long time ago, and you know, the hunter will come to the farmer and say, I wouldn't sue you if I fell out of a tree, that's my fault. Well, he wouldn't, but his wife probably will. So you need to have liability insurance, and Base Camp Leasing has a policy. And another thing, so if you lease it to local folks, this is just the way it is. Don't be angry, local folks, but there's very little value to somebody local. And Base Camp has quite a marketing campaign, and they lease to people who are ate up with deer hunting, turkey hunting. You know, they would more than likely, well, I hate to say it, but they might let their kids go hungry, but they'd kill a deer. Don't be angry, hunters. And they're going to pay good money for good hunting. So the better the hunting, the higher the rate. I'm in Missouri, $10, $20, $30 an acre if it's super good. You know, the Base Camp folks send you a check. So I'm going to turn this off and head up to the spring. So another reason I like to use Base Camp is if you lease it to somebody local, they're going to be here every weekend, possibly leaving your gates open. If you use Base Camp Leasing, they're here once, twice a year. So you didn't think I had a spring, did you? Here's the spring. So that open area is a little bit cleared. Those bucks come in here. They usually come down this fence line and they will bed. They've got water. They can get in out of the wind. Be a good place to put another stand up in those trees. For bow season, gun season, this is my honey hole, like I said. So it's legitimate. Anywho, Base Camp Leasing. If you mention Duncan Smith in the Sticks, I get a referral. Doesn't cost you anything. If you're in South Central Missouri, I highly encourage them. Professional folks. Ed has treated me well over the years. So this spring, I'm just going to quit here because I don't want to fall down. But you can see it running. It's a year-round deal. So there's water in here. My milk cows used to come down in here 20 years ago and get water. But I'm telling you, this would be a dandy. So it'll be on Base Camp's leasing site pretty quick. Texas County, Base Camp Leasing. It's probably going to be 72, 74 acres. I measured it out for Ed, and I think it was around 74. If he calls it 70, more or less, that's perfectly fine with me. Anyway, we're going to the bigger parcel, the 52. Here we go. So as you can see, you could drive Grandpa down here to a little ground blind, and he would be as happy as a pig in mud. And then you could go over to the 52 acres that he should have picked, same access capabilities, and kill a big deer. So yeah, that's how deer hunting works. Here we go to the 52. There's a pond right up here where the cattle are. These cattle will be gone. I'm taking back control of this in March, so spring turkey season would be on the table, and of course deer season in the fall. So it's primarily in fescue. You know, a guy could put in a little food plot either right here or maybe one of these corners. I wouldn't put it on the road because it'd probably be safe. Most of the kids have quit hunting in this area. Just video games, I think, are kind of what's drawing a lot of people away from hunting. But it's in a good set of grass. We're going to the 52. Here we go. All right, so